I'll call this meeting of the Harris County Board of Commissioners to order. We will have our invocation, and Mr. Taylor.
Will you pray with me? Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the glorious nature of the days that you give to us. We thank you for all the blessings you bestow upon us and your grace and salvation. We pray that you will bless this commission tonight as it deliberates the business of the county, and that they will make the right decisions for the county and for everybody in it. We also pray for our nation, dear God, that you would help restore civility and gentility for your benefit, and help remind those of our elected leaders that they're there for your benefit and for our benefit as well, as not just to argue with one another. We pray for our troops overseas that and our first responders, and thank you for the protection that they render to us. For these and our many other blessings, we pray in Christ's name. Amen.
Stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item on our agenda tonight is the minutes of the regular session of September 17th, 2019. Do we have a motion? A motion and a second. Is there any discussion, any changes that need to be made? Okay. No changes, no discussion. All those in favor? All right. Motion is approved. Nancy, is there an appearance of citizens?
One person did sign up, but that's something that is not on the agenda.
On the agenda. Okay, thank you. Any old business? We don't have any items on our agenda under old business. Our new business, the first item is the authorization to bid out our 315 water line upgrade from 6 inches to 12 inches. During the July the 8th, 2019 meeting, the board approved Carter Sloop, the county's consulting engineers, to design and permit a water line upgrade 315 to provide water for phase 1 of the Mulberry Grove development, and to come back to the board when the design is complete to authorize bidding. The cost of the design and permitting phase was $20,150. Carter Sloop has completed their design. The permitting is in process and should be completed soon. The developers of Mulberry Grove have already submitted and received approval from the Planning Commission for their preliminary plan for 54 single-family homes. Mulberry Grove development is proceeding, and it is estimated that the first homes will be ready for occupancy during the summer of 2020. The county staff recommends the board authorize Carter Sloop to bid out the water line upgrade project and provide construction administration services for a lump sum of $10,850. If approved, the project will be bid out and the bid results will be brought back to the board for award consideration during late November. The project is to be constructed during December and January and be completed during February of 2020. The estimated construction cost for the upgrade is $310,640 and will come from the Waterworks Department's budget. Is there a motion?
So moved.
There's a motion. Is there a second? Have a motion and a second. Are there any questions or is there any discussion? No questions, no discussion. All those in favor of authorizing to bid out the 315 water line upgrade, please raise your hand. Okay. Motion is approved. The next item on our agenda is surplus property of the county. is extra equipment, Jaws of Life equipment. The county's EMS department recently replaced 4 old sets of their extrication equipment, Jaws of Life, with new sets. Several of the volunteer fire departments have expressed interest in acquiring the old sets from the county as a donation. County staff recommends that the 4 sets of old extrication equipment be declared as surplus property and donated to the Ellerslie Volunteer Fire Department, Hamilton, Pine Mountain, and Shiloh Fire Departments. Is there a motion?
Make a motion that we declare the equipment surplus and authorize the donation to the volunteer fire departments.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any questions?
Just one from Bucky. What kind of shape are those old ones in?
In capacity, they'll be used with volunteers, no more than they'll be used. They'll get 5 to 7, 8 years out of them. But for instance, when the ambulance is gone in that area, they can save a life. So it's a great thing to do. And right now, they're at 50%. When we donate these, we'll be at 90, truly 100, because Hopewell and Pine Mountain run together. So you'll go from 50 to 100% coverage countywide.
That's great.
Good.
That's great. Okay, there's a motion and a second on the floor to approve this equipment, to declare it surplus and authorize the donation to the volunteer fire departments. All those in favor? Motion is approved. All right, Mr. Dowling.
The next item is project updates, everybody's favorite part of the meeting. Hitting some high points. Number 2, install a replacement countywide email system. A product that has been purchased off state contracts, and that is being implemented currently. A lot of back-end work has to be done on the computer systems. So that should be fully implemented by early December of 2019. Just going down the list. Number 9, replacement of 6 pieces of heavy equipment for the Public Works Department that was approved last meeting. All the documents have been signed and submitted back to Caterpillar, and they should be giving us our old, new equipment in late December and taking back their old equipment. Number 10, the fuel card readers for Public Works and Waterworks. Those 2 things are on bid, and the county is implementing a new Rex fuel card system, and that should be done all done by late December of this year. Number 17, various equipment for the community center. The camera system, we are getting quotes for that. That should be in by this week. And the commercial fitness equipment came in today. So the community center did receive 3D treadmills as replacement treadmills, 2 recumbent bikes to replace old ones, 1 stationary bike, and an incline bench. So those are new additions to the county's fitness center at the community center. Number 18, the community center's pool equipment, that is on bid. The bid deadline is October 17th for more consideration on November the 5th. Number 21, Ellerslie Park Lodge repairs, that is on bid. We had a pre-bid meeting on the 26th of this month last week. 6 companies responded to that meeting. The bid deadline is October the 7th, with board consideration on October the 15th. Number 22, chip and grind collector storm debris at Ellerslie Park. That project is going quite well. So far, even though the agenda items is 38.2%, we have reports as of today, it is 56% completed. Going quite well, getting rid of all that storm debris that was collected. Number 24, rebuild the soccer complex pavilion. The concrete work has been done, framing work, the trusses will be here on Monday. That project is going quite well, and it's being done by county crews. Number 26, rails to trails. Phase 1 is going very well. It's had some great weather to work with. It hasn't rained in about a month. So that is on track to be finished well before the end of the year, phase 1, and phase 2 and 3 is on the agenda tonight for bid award. And phase 2 and 3, if approved, should be finished by March of 2020. Number 28, the fence project at the airport. That project is going well, completion by late this month, or late October. Number 39, the county's land use and development codes update. That is on bid. The deadline to submit is October the 18th, with board consideration on November the 19th. Number 40, Melody Ledge Dam. We have not heard from the state. And I've called other counties, and they haven't heard from the state either. And they've submitted about the same time we did, 6 to 8 months ago. So nobody is hearing from the state. No news is good news until it gets here.
Somewhere it starts raining.
Number 42, mulching 35 acres of the business park. That 35 acres has been completed and verified. That's the highlights of the report. Answer any questions the board may have.
Go back to 23, improving the soccer complex parking areas. And I see the preparing the plan.
Yes.
To make sure that our rec director consults with the soccer
Definitely.
association.
Definitely.
On that. That's all I can, thank you. All right. Randy, the bid award.
Okay. Number 5, bid award for the Rosa Trails project, phases 2 and 3. Again, this was kind of a cumbersome bid because it was bidding out the paving of the trail using 2 different federal funds with 2 different federal requirements. And they all have to be separated. All the paperwork, all the processing has to be separated. And we put them all together for simplicity in one way and difficulty in another. So, given that, we bid out the phase 2 and 3 of the Rosa Trails project. Again, this project begins at on 27 instead of around 354, where the phase 1 ends, and it will continue to behind the Mountain Creek Inn, right across the street from the main entrance, right about in that area. So that's where phase 2 and 3 will end. Phase 2 is about 3,777 linear feet of asphalt paving funded by a federal grant, Land and Water Conservation Fund. You know, with the required match, it's a $200,000 project. And the county's required match is coming from T-SPLOS's PLOS 2019. In phase 3 is an additional 4,950 linear feet of paving funded by a federal recreational trails grant program of $200,000 for the award, $50,000 for the grant match. And the grant match is coming from the same place, T-SPLOS and SPLOS 19. So when you combine both phases, it's a total of 8,727 linear feet of asphalt paving, and it has a total project budget of $450,000. So when we bid out the project as one, Piedmont Paving from Noonan was the low bid at $407,210.57, and not the Southeastern Site Development who received phase 1. So we're working with 2 different contractors on one project with 2 different federal funds with different requirements. So you can see the complexity of this, what it would appear to be a simple project, but it's not. So, you know, what's the cost of this project? The construction portion is $407,210, but once the engineering costs are included, $18,000 for phase 2, $21,000 for phase 3, the total project cost is $446,210.57. And the engineering cost, some of it's paid by the grant, some of it's not. So the bids came in well under what we budgeted. We received a lot of good competitive bids, and you can see the difference. Since the bids came in under budget, we want to maximize the grant award. So we need to give Piedmont Paving $32,000 more so we can get the full award of one of the grants, the Land Water Conservation Fund grant. And this will extend the project by 600 linear feet. And the grant agency, Land and Water, and also Piedmont Paving, they've approved this approach. So basically, we add $32,000 to the project. So now Piedmont's revised contract amount is $439,210.57. And then the engineering fees, once you add that, the total project cost is $478,210.57. Again, this project was included in the approved budget. If approved, the completion should be 150 calendar days from the notice of receipt or about early March 2020. Again, as a recap, phase 1 of the project, from Chipley Street to the intersection of US 27 and State Route 354, was $561,221.08. $13,005 for engineering, for a total cost of $574,721. And phase 1 is being done by Southeastern Site Development. They're doing a great job, on time, on budget, no problems that I can foresee. And this will be done by the end of the year. But once you add phase 1, 2, and 3 together, this project has a total cost of $1,052,931.65, well below the approved budget. And the remaining funds in the Road Trails budget will be used for matching requirements for the 2 grants that are currently being written. So basically, staff would like to have the board award the bid to Piedmont Paving in the amount of $439,210.57. Approve the temporary construction easement with Callaway Gardens to access a small portion of their property during construction that we need, and authorize the county manager and clerk to execute the contract and all other documents relating to this project. And behind this, you have a picture of the yellow portion is the T grant, the red portion is the Land and Water Conservation Fund, and the blue portion is the Recreational Trails grant.
Randy, is the 600 additional feet in this 0.9 miles that's shown here in phase 2?
It's in the 0.15 miles.
Okay.
Well,
So it's already been included on this map?
It's already been included. The 600 feet has been included. And then you can see Carter and Sloop's bid award recommendation letter. You can see the bid calculations of the 3 bidders in the change order of $32,000 to maximize the grant award. So it's a lot of information. It's a complicated project, but it all should be done by next March.
Right, and I know it's in here somewhere. How much below budget?
It's about right at $325,000 under our approved budget.
All right, thank you. Anybody have any other questions?
How big a problem is it gonna be that we have 2 companies doing this? Or do you think these companies are gonna work together? Because, we don't want it to not match up.
Oh, no.
Right.
The problems are, luckily, one project's going to end at a road.
Right.
And the next project will begin on the other side of the road. So there should be no elevation changes. The only problem we see is sharing staging areas. One company's going to have their materials in the same place as the other company. There will be some times where their heavy equipment will be going down the same road as the other company's heavy equipment. Is this going to be two companies on the same project? Is never a good thing.
Right.
There's double equipment, double manpower, double need for the staging area, limited space. That's just the luck of the draw. But it shouldn't have any major problems that are not insurmountable. This would be inconvenient, and I have to acclimate out of the company, but that's the way it goes.
Is there a motion?
I make a motion, we approve the project, approve the easement, and approve the extra 32,000 for another 600 feet.
I'll second.
Okay, here's a motion and a second. All those in favor? Motion carries. All right, Mr. Taylor.
Yes, ma'am. I have one item on the agenda, and that is item number 6. This is an agreement with Meriwether County to provide a prison inmate detail. The Warden Nelson is here to explain it to you, but this is exactly almost identical to the other inmate agreements that we have, with one with Talbot County and one with West Point. The idea is that out of the Harris County Prison, we'll furnish 5 inmates for 4 days a week, 10 hours a day, and then also we'll assign a correctional officer to monitor them. In exchange for that, Meriwether County will pay about $46,000 a year. In other words, they're going to be paying the cost of our what it would cost us to employ the correctional officer, and then the price of $10 per inmate per day. And this has worked, seemed to work well with Talbot County and worked well with West Point. I'll let Warden Nelson explain any other details too. This is the first one we've had with Meriwether County, and this agreement is almost identical to the other 2 agreements that we have with Talbot County and West Point, and have had for a number of years.
Meriwether County expressed interest in a work detail prior to the city of West Point. They had to get some things in line in order for them to go ahead and go forward with the inmate detail. But they had heard about the Talbot County detail, and they expressed interest soon after we signed the agreement with Talbot County. And they finally came around, and I met with the officials over there in Greenville. And they are on board and want the detail to start January 2020. Basically doing the same thing that the current details are doing in West Point and Talbot County. Nothing different.
And there have been no issues with any of the others, has there?
No, none.
None that I've heard.
No. And the people are from West Point are so anxiously about having the detail over there. They are coming to us to get the training so they can work around the inmates and work with the inmates as well.
Good.
So Talbot County did the same thing, and eventually Meriwether County will do the same. They expressed interest in that as well.
So if everything goes as well, the way they're paying, the county will net about $8,000 per year.
That's
Which
correct.
will go to the cost to run the prison.
That's correct.
And as long as the prison is full, you got enough people to handle it.
Yes. Right now, we added the additional inmates July 1st, and with West Point, I've been able to manage all the details without any issues.
All right, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any other questions or any discussion?
With the budget amendment approved also?
Included in
Yeah.
the motion.
Yeah, that's all, I think it was, everything was included.
Just making sure.
All right, all those in favor? Motion is approved. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Is there a need for executive session?
Yes, ma'am, there is a need to go in executive session for pending and potential litigation.
Anybody have anything else?
Well, before we go in, I would like to say this. I would like to publicly state that the JV tournament that we had this past Saturday, we used the community center. Everybody talked about how well the community center went, and it was just a great place to have it. They mentioned, of course, the high school, middle school, but just know that our recreational staff did an excellent job helping me run our 11th annual tournament. We had 22 teams up here, and nothing but positive things and great things about the community center and the staff and everybody that was there. I, you know, I know I'm always asking questions about the community center, so I want to say something good.
And, one other thing, the bridge on Horton Road is gonna be closed beginning sometime in November. They're already cleared on that. That's over, help me, is that Standing Board?
That's standard.
Standing Board Creek, and it will be closed beginning sometime in November. Yeah, we're not sure. That's about it.
For about a year still, is what they're.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, is there a motion to go into executive session? Motion, and I'll second.